Thank you. You're right, it's a hot topic of today. And I prepared different topics as I discussed with Fazal. However, I am more than happy to cover the career development part, which I think is the more suitable and targeted for the audience that we have today. So happy to cover that, and also how they can develop themselves as well. So that's no problem. So just for a bit of start and an introduction, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I have three screens here, so don't mind when I'm just looking around. My name is Sidra Mobeen, and currently I'm working as an Agile Delivery Manager for Vodafone Security. I'm going to touch cybersecurity and IAM, and it's telling me that my internet has problem. I don't know whether you can still see me or hear me. Just drop a message if you can.
We can, Sidra, you're fine. We can. Can you hear us? Can you hear me right now?
I can. My computer is saying there's a problem. So
now we can see your screen as well. You're good to go.
Okay, perfect. So yep, so I'm just going to cover cybersecurity. I probably will skip IAM part, which is kind of my my specialist area where my work is. And then I'll talk more about career development as just mentioned. So cracking on, we are living in this digital age. Today, mobile banking, online shopping, reading news and books, and even socializing is just one click away. Since the pandemic, working and studying from home has increased. As soon and the more we connect to internet, the more we open ourselves to security vulnerabilities and risks to our sensitive personal data. Cybersecurity is the most concerned matter as cyber threats and attacks are overgrowing. Attackers now are using more sophisticated techniques to target the systems. Individuals, small-scale businesses, or large organizations are all being impacted. Only during the pandemic, there were 18 million breaches, and it costs it has cost $4.6 million globally just to recover from those threats. So all these firms, whether IT or non-IT, have understood the importance of cybersecurity and focusing on adopting all possible measures to deal with it. Let me turn mode. Okay. Now the big question: what cybersecurity is? It's an ability and body of technologies, processes, and practices designed to protect from cyber threats, damage, or unauthorized access. There are two terms, cyber and security. So cyber is related to technologies which contain system, network, programs, data, or endpoints. And endpoints here are your all smart devices. Security is related to protection of internet connected systems, including system security, network security, mobile security, application and information security, including your software and hardware. A successful cybersecurity approach has multiple layers of protection. In an organization, the people, process, and technology must all complement one another to create an effective defense from cyber threats. Everyone relies on critical infrastructure like power plants, hospitals, financial service companies, and securing these and other companies is essential to keeping our society functioning. Now, I just wanted to briefly cover the fundamentals of cybersecurity, which is CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality is about preventing the disclosure of data to unauthorized parties. It also means trying to keep the authorized identities private and anonymous. The measures that we can take to protect this is data encryption, two-factor authentication. I'm going to cover that a bit later as well, biometric verification, and security tokens. Integrity refers to protecting information from being modified by unauthorized parties. We can achieve this by cryptographic checksums, using file permissions, uninterrupted power supplies, data backups. And these are everyday measures that we all as an individuals can take. The third most important part is availability. is making sure that unauthorized parties can access information when needed and wherever needed. And we can back up data to external drives, implement firewalls, having backup power supplies and data redundancy to achieve this. CIA is compromised by cyber attacks into two categories: web-based attacks and system-based attacks. Web-based is like SQL information interjection or session hijacking. And the most common are the system-based attacks. And I have written the top 5 here, which is malware, ransomware, phishing, denial of service, and man in the middle. And phishing being the top one. Okay, now why cybersecurity is important? Let's look at this again. A cyber attack can cause everything from identity theft to extortion attempts, asking money from users, or to the loss of important data like family photos. Cyber attacks can be extremely expensive for business and also inflict reputational damage. Cyber criminals are being very innovative now, and regulations such as GDPR, SOX, and HIPAA are forcing compliance to data privacy. Cyber risk is number one or number two principal risk for all organizations. And Dr. Ali was mentioning about data. Data is being the most valuable asset for organizations after people. And data right is going to be, I think, one of the top rights as well, like human rights, data rights. So people are filing for that as well. There is a great Netflix program, The Great Hack. If anybody would like to get the idea, it's really mind blowing, and I highly recommend watching that series on program on Netflix. Okay, so I prepared IAM as well. I can briefly go through it, but conscious of the time as well. However, in the end and in a panel discussion, I can in detail go through the career part as well. So I think I'm gonna keep going. Gaurav, if you don't mind. So identity and access management, or IAM, is the discipline that makes it possible for the right entities to use right resources at the right time, seamless and from any device, anywhere. IAM is comprised of the systems and processes that allow IT managers and security managers to assign a single digital identity to each entity, authenticate them when they log in, authorize them to access specified resources, record all the activity in form of logs, and monitor entities throughout their life cycle. Now, the accounting we do because it helps an audit trail to recreate or perform the forensics in case any security incident takes place. So no single identity for everyone, no identity, no access is the top rules. I actually have a picture to explain as well how this works. Identity is like username and password, and authentication verifies those credentials and allow access. For example, when you log into Facebook, you are allowed to see your profile, you can edit it, you can also see other people's profiles, but you are not allowed to modify or make any changes. So that's kind of authorized and unauthorized access on the systems. And it's worth mentioning that authentication is a broad concept used not just for users, but all network devices, services, processes, workstations, and servers. They use authentication to prove their identity in one form or the other. Now, the second part of the domain is access management. It is a way to grant access rights and privileges to each entity. The best practice in access management today is least privilege, like give the least amount of access. And it means assigning rights to only those resources needed to complete a task or a job, and only for the shortest amount of time necessary. There are two types of access management: privileged, which is reserved for users like admins or DevOps personnel, really on like the high level. And then there is role-based, which is for users, a job or role in an organization. So no blanket access is given to anyone because it's a great threat to the organization. It opens up many weaknesses. So types of authentication solutions, we have single sign-on, two-factor authentication, MFA, biometric, and role-based. Single sign-on increases productivity and reduce friction for users. That means if you are logged on to one system or application, you can seamlessly access other applications without having to put your credentials again. And many organizations are implementing single sign-on. 2FA and MFA add additional layer of protection in addition to username to gain access, and they are described as something you know, passwords, PIN, shared secrets, something you have, smart card, tokens, fob, OTP. You must be familiar with the term. You use it while using mobile banking or when you install WhatsApp, TikTok, or applications like that. And the third layer is something you are, which is your biometric trait, for example, face recognition, your voice, retina, to verify your identity. Fourth one is actually risk-based, and it is only triggered when it detects the presence of high risk, which can be, for example, when user's location is different from what is expected based on IP address or malware is detected. So why do we need IAM? It's the world has recognized it's not just for employees anymore. Organizations must be able to provide secure access for contractors, business partners, remote and mobile users, and customers. So security is the core motive here. Following certain regulations according to the region is also crucial. So compliance to standards like HIPAA, PCI, GDPR, SOX is really key. With digital transformation, identities are also assigned to Internet of Things, IoT devices with robots, pieces of code such as APIs, microservices, CCTV camera, your doorbell, etc. Multi-cloud hybrid IT environments and software as a service solution further complicate the IAM landscape. And if done well, IAM helps ensure business productivity and frictionless functioning of digital systems. Employees can work seamlessly no matter where they are, while centralized management makes sure they only access the specific resources they need for their jobs. And opening systems to customers, contractors, suppliers can increase efficiency and lower costs. The future. So artificial intelligence is playing an increasingly transformational role in identity and access management and overall cybersecurity as well. It enables organizations to take much more granular and adaptive approach to authentication and access management. With remote working becoming the norm and mobile devices usage at maximum penetration, the domain of IAM has greatly expanded. In today's mobile world, where employees want the freedom to work from anywhere using their own mobile devices, tablets, laptop, or wearables, organizations are adopting bring your own device, which is BYOD program to make it happen. All top organizations are working on BYOD these days. IAM, cloud, and identity as a service are becoming very popular as well. Identity as a service is a fairly a new concept. You must be familiar with platform and net identity platform information and network as a service, and identity as a service is a really new concept, and it can be a standalone solution for complementing or complementary to existing on-premises IAM solutions. Um, Next is IT. So it is a well-known story. Some of you must have heard a hacker compromised an aquarium smart thermometer gaining access to the corporate network and stole customer data. The same thing has happened with network connecting to CCTV cameras. So CIE, cybersecurity is becoming increasingly significant due to continuously expanding reliance on computer systems, internet, and the wireless network standards such as Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and due to the growth of smart devices, including smartphones, television, home systems, and various devices that continue the Internet of Things. IoT is also the next big thing. And then next gen AV software, host-based firewalls, endpoint detection and response, they all will continue to evolve and add even more security within an organization. Today's IAM solutions address IoT devices as entities that need to be identified and authorized prior to network access. So they can't just lie there without being assigned an identity. Even robots are being assigned identity. In our organizations, they must have a username and password and an identity to be used before any experiment. So to put simply, IAM is the foundation upon which your cybersecurity infrastructure must be built. It's beyond individuals, it's everyone in personal and professional life. With IAM, you only allow the right people, devices, and services to have the right access to the right application and data at the right. Thank you.